What's the most important thing overall? You. You're the most important thing. You. Keeping you well, keeping you hydrated, keeping you fed, keeping you warm, keeping you comfortable. You're the most important thing. So make sure that you take care of you well. Hey guys, Nancy Faye here, Modern Day Pilgrim. I hope you're having a fabulous day today. Well, welcome back to my channel. Well, today I'd like to talk about what exactly do you need to live in your vehicle. There are a lot of people that just choose to live in their vehicle because they can and they want to travel around and, you know, vacation and all that jazz. There are others who are forced to live in their vehicles, whether it's they can't afford their rent or their mortgage, or just a bad situation has fallen upon them. They're fleeing an unhealthy situation. They have a vehicle and they just make their getaway, right? So they have this vehicle, they have a car, it is a roof over their head, and it is a haven. It really is a haven. And now you need to make your new haven, which is your vehicle, your home. So I'd like to talk to you and help you understand that it can be done. It can be done simply, and we don't need to fret. The first thing I think is really, really important if you're going to start living in your vehicle is having organization. And I know when you're leaving a situation in a hurry, you're only bringing what you need. That obviously is a good thing, right? But if you're in a situation where you have time to gather things and you're going to bring everything you possibly can in your vehicle, and that's going to be your home, well, your vehicle's small. Now you've got a ton of stuff in there, and it's not a really comfortable environment for you to dwell in because you've got all this excessive amount of stuff. And I know we have stuff, and I know we have sentimental things that we need to bring with us and have, and I get that. I'm not talking about that stuff. I'm just talking about stuff that's just, you just feel like you need to hang on to it all and you're going to bring it in your vehicle. I would suggest against that. Number one, I just feel like there are things you need in a home to live, and there are things you don't need in a vehicle to live. So that's next. Let's talk about what exactly do you need to live properly, healthfully, comfortably in your vehicle. All right, I make no bones about it. Today, I'm gonna make this video and I'm gonna refer to notes because I'm not gonna pretend to have it all memorized because I'm not a faker and I don't have it all memorized. But I will tell you this, I spent a good deal of time thinking about this, thinking about people who are in this situation, and I thought, man, I do this because I want to go rock hunting and I make my van into a camper, but there are people out there who are in desperate situations and I want to help them live comfortably in their vehicle. So let's get into it. Let's talk about exactly what we need to do and how we need to do it if we're transitioning from a house to a vehicle. And like I stated, first off, we need to be organized. You have to think to yourself, this is my new space, this is my living space, I want to be comfortable in it. So think very carefully about where you're going to put your stuff. You're going to have to utilize your trunk, and you're going to have to be very organized in your trunk. You just don't want to throw everything in there, obviously, but you want to be able to access stuff easily and have it organized in either bins. I use trunk organizers, but you can use bins. Whatever works for you, it works. Whatever. Get it at the thrift store. Go to the thrift store, find little containers, and organize your stuff. Your trunk is your new closet, your new linen closet, your new everything closet. It's where you're going to keep your stuff. Maybe your front seat's going to be a little bit of a space where you are able to keep things. But if your front seat happens to fold back all the way and it can be flat, maybe that's going to be your new bed. I don't know. I don't know what kind of car you're going to have. I don't know. But all I'm trying to get across here is think very carefully of where you're going to put your stuff and make it as easily accessible as you can. Okay, so number one, organization. It's key. All right, I'm referring to my notes, remember, because I told you I don't have everything memorized. So what are some things to make your new living experience in your vehicle comfortable? Well, you're going to need privacy. No matter how you look at it, you're going to need privacy. So you're going to need some sort of window covers. I had mine made, but you can cut them out of cardboard. You can Go online and do the DIYs, figure it out. Everybody on there, there are so many people that have wonderful ideas how to make window covers very cost efficient. So you're going to need privacy for your windows here. When you're sleeping, you don't want people looking in your windows at you. It's important to have privacy. All right, number two, you're going to need some kind of a toilet for the middle of the night. Now during the day, you're going to be able to access public places to use the restroom, to even brush your teeth, and actually even wash your body. If we're going to talk about toilets, let's just talk about hygiene right out of the gate here. Obviously you're not going to be able to take a shower every day if you're living in your vehicle and you don't have somewhere to do that, but you can absolutely use water and a washcloth and clean your body on a regular basis. That's not going to be a problem. Brushing your teeth, not an issue. You're going to have toothpaste, you're going to have a toothbrush, right? You're going to use your bottled water, you're going to brush your teeth, and you're going to spit that either in a napkin, or I personally use empty water bottles and then I just throw them out when I'm done, right? Because if you're going to drink the water out of water bottles and you have empties, keep one or two of them, have them on hand under your seat or whatever. Use them to spit in after you brush your teeth, because you need to get rid of that, right? You don't swallow toothpaste. So that's really important. You're in a situation where you don't have friends and family where you can visit to take a shower. You know, find those restrooms, know where they are, that have only one toilet. Lock that door. Utilize that space to wash your private parts, to take care of yourself the best you can quickly in that public environment. It can be done. So you have to kind of be prepared. You got to kind of have a bag ready. So when you find that place, you know, these are things that are going to come as time goes on. You're going to have your toiletry bag. It's not going to look like a toiletry bag because you don't want these people to know that you're going in their bathrooms and using them to clean yourself. You don't want that. It's going to be like a purse or something. I don't know. For you guys, maybe it'll be a backpack. I don't know. But have that stuff ready, so when you do have a place and it's pegged, I can use that restroom to wash in and to use the toilet and clean myself. You've got your stuff ready. There's no thinking. So utilize those public restrooms during the day and find that one place that has. You might need to do more than one, because if you visit it regularly, they might catch on. But you get me, right? You get my drift. Rain guards. Rain guards, guys. So what are rain guards? Rain guards are these things that you can see on my window. They come down, let's see. See that dark line right there? That's a rain guard. It's installed on the outside of the window, and it's very dark, and it allows you to have your windows rolled down like I do right now, but people from the outside can't tell that they are rolled down. So if you're going to be dwelling in your vehicle for a long period of time, I highly recommend getting rain guards, at least for two of your windows. If you can't afford to get them for the back and the front, get them for the fronts, right? Because if you're sleeping back here and you don't want to get a draft, you're going to still need ventilation. We'll talk about that in a minute, but maybe it'd be better to have ventilation in your front seats. But rain guards are a must. Okay, bedding. Did we talk about bedding? You can get that at the thrift store. Everything you need. Blankets, even down blankets, sheets, comforters, sleeping bags, which are the best. I recommend, if you're going to be sleeping in colder weather in your vehicle, that you're going to utilize a sleeping bag and completely encase your body in that sleeping bag, in your back seat, in the bed of your truck, in your minivan, your SUV, whatever you have. Keep your body completely covered, right? So think about that, utilizing the thrift stores for all your bedding. Okay, moving on. Heat. Well, that's going to be an issue in the colder months for a lot of people. If you have a smaller vehicle, I don't really recommend having any kind of indoor heating situation that could cause a fire, any open flames. I know people do that, but I personally don't recommend it. As you see, I have a minivan. I do have a little Mr. Buddy heater. It takes 3 feet of clearance in the front, in the very front, in mid, and at the top. You've got to have a lot of space for that thing. Even though that it doesn't like completely rise to the top, you still need space for that heat to go places and not just next to or onto another surface. So keep that in mind. So keeping warm, for a lot of us, we're going to have to turn on our cars throughout the night, heat up our car really well, our vehicles, and we're going to have to get sleeping bags, things to cover us completely. Now, I'm going to turn my camera around and I want to show you something, so give me a minute. All right, I want to make note of these little garment hooks. All cars and vehicles have them. I'm primarily talking to the people who will be living in a car, not a van or an SUV, but cars where they don't have the ability to have all this open space. So as you can see, I have sleeping bags in my van. This is what I use. This is a mummy sleeping bag. I put that inside of a regular sleeping bag and I layer up. I have all kinds of videos on my channel. I have a playlist. It's called Van Camping in Michigan. Please check it out. I have a ton of stuff in there pertaining to keeping warm in your van, so check that out. But this is what I sleep with, double sleeping bags in the dead of winter. But anyhow, moving on. To the people who are in vehicles, cars, that are sleeping in the back seat of their car, you can string, and I would use paracord, a piece of paracord from one side of your car to the other, make it very tight. Then what you can do is use a blanket, preferably wool, something that's thick and sturdy. You drape it over that paracord, over yourself in the back seat, causing you to be completely contained under your makeshift tent. Having a smaller space for you to sleep in will keep you warmer in that little space than it would if your entire van or car, pardon me, was open and you were just sleeping in your vehicle. So having a space around you that's contained by a blanket and you're in there, you're in that little space, that's going to help you stay warmer than it would if you were just sleeping in your vehicle. I hope that makes sense. All right, moving on. All right, next, where are you going to sleep? Where will you park to sleep for the night if you become a van dweller, a car dweller, an SUV dweller, a truck dweller? Where will you sleep for the night? Good question. Some people, depending on where they live, they can find free land, like BLM land, Bureau of Land Management land. Not everybody lives out that way, right? And a lot of us are out east and other places in the United States that don't have that opportunity. Well, you might be stealth camping in the city. So here we go. If you're stealth camping, if you're all of a sudden find yourself living in your car and you're in the city, well, you have to be very careful and very thoughtful of where you're going to park for the night so you don't get the dreaded knock, right? Number one, you got to have, once again, window covers. That's really important, and it has to be very dark in your car, because if people see lights on in your car at nighttime, they're calling the police. You're going to get the knock and you're going to have to leave, and we don't want that. So having good window covers is really, really important. Number two, places. Where? Well, here you go. This is what I do. When I stealth camp, and I do stealth camp throughout the state of Michigan, I find places that people are frequently in and out of that aren't secured by security staff. So there are hotels, there are hospitals, there are tourist places where you can park. You got to get crafty, you got to get thoughtful. A lot of people I've watched on YouTube stay in cities and they sleep on side streets. Now, when you do that, it's doable, but you have to understand that when you park, it's going to be dark in your car. There's going to be no noise coming out of it, and it's going to be just like no one's in the van. So you might want to think twice about that, or just, I don't know, find a place in a city on a side street that might work for you. I've never done side street parking in neighborhoods or anything like that. I normally use hospital parking lots. I know there are people that are against that, but I mean, there are a million parking spots in a hospital. Yeah, so I don't quite understand what the problem is. They say, well, you're taking a spot away from somebody. Unless there was a world catastrophe, no hospital parking lot is ever going to be full. And there are millions of parking spots in hospitals. Even their structures, their parking structures, that's another thought. Hotels, another thought. But you have to be stealthy when you're parking in the city. So you have to make sure you have good window covers. So just keep that in mind. And if you are strolling in to these places, the best time to do it is at night. So during the day, if you have a job, that's great. You're going to be at your job. When you're a vehicle camper, it's not like you're going to go home and relax. It's just not going to happen. You're going to go to work. You're going to get in your car and you're going to relax in your car somewhere during the day for the rest of the day. You're not necessarily going to go to the place that you sleep, because if they see you there all day and all night, they're onto you, and you don't want that. So you have to kind of be busy during the day. You know, go to McDonald's, go to Starbucks, whatever it is, wherever. You know, you don't have to buy anything there, but you can park in their parking lot for a while. You can just relax. You can even take a nap, whatever. Nobody's really going to notice you during the day in that regard. It's just at nighttime that you have to be careful. So whenever you're getting ready for bed, you want to stroll in as it's getting dark or just after dark, park, window covers up, and you're going to bed, basically. Or you're going to be quiet in your van and have no lights on. It's just very, very important. So there's that. Let's visit the restroom situation again. If you're in a bigger vehicle, you're going to have maybe a bucket, a 5-gallon bucket or something. You're going to put a bag in it, maybe cat litter, what have you, and whatever. But having a toilet at nighttime is obviously something that is a necessity. Heaven forbid you get sick in the middle of the night. You're going to need something to vomit in, whatever. I mean, these are real things. This happens. So having a bucket handy, so you can either use it for the restroom or for whatever purpose, have it ready. Have a bag in it, either cat litter, horse pellets. You can buy those at like Tractor Supply. They're very, very inexpensive. I don't get the horse ones though. I get the rabbit ones because they're smaller. But I have a video on that as well. So check out, again, my playlist. I have a whole video on using horse pellets, even cat litter, as your medium in your toilet if you have to use the restroom. But for the most part, what we want to do is utilize the restroom all through the day, and maybe even not drink after a certain point at night, so you don't have to get up and go to the bathroom. But I know that's not possible for everybody, and I know a lot of people have medical issues and have to get up during the night. I totally understand that. But do your research. There are like for women, there are little Miss Potty funnel thingies that you can just kind of squat in onto this little thing and go into a bottle or a wide mouth bottle, whatever. I know it gets weird and graphic, but it's reality. And then you can screw a lid on it or whatever and dispose of it the next day. Or you could use the bucket with the medium horse pellets or cat litter. And guys, well, you just got it made in the shade. I don't know what to say. Yeah. What can I say? You got it made. Okay, moving on. Let's talk about a power source. So I have this Jackery back here. This is a Jackery 500. It's big. I use it for my refrigerator. Not everybody's going to have a refrigerator in here, obviously, especially if you're, in a situation where you're just fleeing and getting out of a bad scene or whatever. You might just need a little cooler, and that's fantastic. But if you are into some sort of a power supply, even a small one, because you're going to want USB lights like this one here. I have to have it on because if I don't have it up, I'm a little dark. But this is a black diamond light. I'm going to turn it off so I can show you. All these things are USB powered. When you start living in your vehicle, you're going to want to think about what kind of things will you need to be comfortable and how will you power them. In a house you have electricity, you're going to plug it in the wall, right? Well, we don't have that as an option in most vehicles if you don't have some sort of a power source, right? And you don't ever want to drain the battery of your vehicle, because this is your livelihood. Your vehicle is your livelihood. So some kind of a small power source, in my opinion, is necessary. Even if it's just to charge your telephone, you always want to have some form of communication. Another thing, I'm going to bring this over here, that I think is important is circulation in your van. And this is a little USB fan. It has 3 settings and 3 light settings. So this, to me, is a must-have if you're going to be living in your van, because you have to have proper circulation in here, and we're going to talk about that next. Why do we need circulation in a van? Well, because we are human and we breathe, and when we exhale, there is moisture that's coming out of our body, which produces condensation on your windows. So having your windows cracked and having a fan is imperative. And it also helps you to feel comfortable and not stifled in your van. It's really very comfortable, as you know, even in your own house. You like a fan on you, right? At your desk at work, whatever the situation may be. We all have fans somewhere in our house because they make us feel comfortable, right? They give us a nice breeze and they take away the heat. So having a fan, a little USB fan, is important, but you're going to need to power it. So do your research. There are many, many small power banks that you can get that would charge these little fans, these little lights here. Where's my little light? My little light here. You can find all kinds of stuff. Another light I have is this one here. This is a Kaizen light. It has 3 settings also. Third being a distress signal, okay? It's also got a tiny little power bank in here if you need to power your phone. And if you need it to be, it can be a little flashlight. You just make it small. So this is dual purpose. This is a great little item. And I recommend them. We got them for gifts, our whole family, from our brother-in-law. So these are fun. Kaizen, look them up. Everything in my van that you see and I talk about today will be in the description box, so don't forget to check that out. So back to the power source scene. Do your research. You might not need a huge one, but you will need, I mean, in my opinion, if you live in a hot environment, you're gonna need a fan in your car, right? You're going to want some small power bank. So just keep that in mind and do your research on that. All right, let's cover food and water. So obviously we need food and water. If you're able to eat out or go places or people's homes, that's fantastic. That's really great. But if you can't, you're going to need something to sustain yourself in your vehicle. Make sure you have water on hand, and if you're in a situation where you need refrigeration, a cooler, a little bit of ice. I know it can be costly to buy the ice. I get that. I do know that. But you have to do what's best for you. If you're in need of a cooler and you don't have a cooler, the thrift store, once again, they have everything. Everything you could possibly need to live in your vehicle, you'll find there. Even these USB type little gadgets that I have, these lights, you can find them there. If not, there are many inexpensive ones online. Being organized, again, I think that's number one. Less is more. Bring what you need, not what you think you might need just in case, because that's where the clutter begins. And we do not want to be cluttery vehicle dwellers or vehicle campers. Bring what you need only. Figure out what space you have in your car to store all your stuff, because what's the most important thing overall? You. You're the most important thing. You. Keeping you well, keeping you hydrated, keeping you fed, keeping you warm, keeping you comfortable. You're the most important thing. So make sure that you take care of you well. All right, everyone. I hope this video was helpful to you. If you haven't already, subscribe to my channel. I would love that. And like all my videos, share them around. I would love that so much. If you have a question, drop it in the comment box. I'd love to answer it. I'd love connecting with everybody. And I hope this video was helpful to you. So everyone, wherever you are in this world, if this video was helpful to you, let me know. Drop me a comment. I'd love to say hello to you and wish you well. All right, have a fantastic day. I will catch you later. Until next time.